Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Black. I'm Mr. PokeGamer. In the last episode, we kind of just went on our way to try and get to the next city, but as any of you who have watched the most recent episode, as you know, aka the last episode, I mentioned I was going to backtrack to get some TMs. So on this route, about to see, we're going to be getting Poison Jab, but that's not the only thing we're going to be doing here. There was a cave on this route that we could have gone into back when we were around this area, but I don't remember if we were either able to use strength at the time or not. So like we couldn't really go very far into the cave, but now that we're capable of using strength, we're going to go through it. And inside the cave, as you probably saw the entrance up there, inside that cave you can get the TM for Rock Slide, which is a good TM to have. If I'm not mistaken, Scraggy gets it as well, and it's something that I think I'm going to end up teaching it over Headbutt. I mean, Headbutt has the flinch hacks and all that, but I don't know, it kind of adds good coverage for opposing flying types, assuming that my level's higher and, you know, all of the other happy crap, of course, because it's not exactly, you know, one of the fastest Pokemon in the game. But I did already do the strength boulders, except for the remaining area, and I had a map for this whenever I was doing this, so yeah. So you're probably wondering why I just did that, considering this area is, you know, all like rocky area and all that other happy crap. The reason for this is because Whimsicott's going to be kind of needed in the later part of this cave, so I mean, yeah. It's kind of the thing. So I guess while we're just, you know, sitting here going through this cave, I guess we can talk about a whole bunch of, you know, random bullshit. I'm kind of wondering a lot of things about Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby right now. What's going to become of the Pokemon Bank? Again, there's the whole move tutor thing. Basically, like, one of the things I'm kind of curious about is whether or not we're going to even need to use the bank to transfer up like tutor moves and stuff, because again, like, there's a chance of getting move tutors and shit into the Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, and the online services are going down for 5th generation and earlier as of next Tuesday, aka the 20th. So kind of a plug-in reminder there that if you plan on doing PokeGen stuff or, you know, things like that, highly recommend that you do it as of like right now or over the weekend, or if you feel like doing it very last second, Monday. I don't know if it goes into effect literally like midnight on the 20th, or if it ends on the 20th at like 11:59 p.m. at night. It's probably 11:59 at night or something like that. Or maybe even like, I think it might be actually like 4 o'clock or something in the morning on Wednesday, if you're lucky. But not entirely sure. But yeah, I'm curious about the, you know, importance of Pokemon Bank here at this point, because when you look at it, you have, you know, the potential move tutors in Generation 6 now with Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, and on top of that, you also, like, you have move tutors, yes, in Black and White, but unless you know how to RNG abuse, you're not going to be able to get the good IVs plus the move tutor move. So, I mean, with the way that they're doing their little competition rules where you can only use Pokemon that were either obtained in Kalos or are in the Kalos stacks, I think they have to be obtained in Kalos regardless. I could be wrong, of course. But assuming that, you know, like, they have to be Kalos bred or caught in Kalos, you can't use those tutor moves anyways. So I don't really know how that's gonna work per se. But I just feel like it's gonna be kind of tricky, because again, unless you know how to RNG abuse and can do it consistently as well as multiple times in a row, so that we can get like good trade fodder and whatnot, you know, that's kind of a thing. On top of that, you can't like gen the EVs onto it. You can't, you know, download from PokeCheck or something and then transfer it up that way. It's kind of ridiculous. I really don't know how else to really put it. But it's just something that I'm kind of like, what's gonna happen here, because you know, so it'll be interesting to find out like how things play out, I guess, but it's kind of worrying as well. They're going to be shutting off something very important to the Pokemon community, and it's going to impact a lot of things. Again, like PokeCheck hasn't updated for Generation 6 yet, so it's incapable of sending Pokemon straight to your X and Y, and with online services ending, you won't be able to just download them straight to your game via Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi is going to be shut down. So getting these good IV Pokemon with move tutor moves and whatnot and being able to Pokegen them, it's now going to be very difficult. I guess if you have like, you know, PokeSave or not PokeSave, but Game Save, I think is what it's called, then you can just edit Pokemon all you want on your actual game. Of course, you risk losing your game unless you are smart enough to back up your save, of course, but yeah. So we're kind of getting to the relevant point of this video. Like I said, Whimsicott's going to be kind of needed towards the end of this, and as I mentioned, there are rocks that I haven't pushed yet, because, I mean, I didn't want to, I can't push them without talking to him. He's obviously relevant to this, so, yeah. Anyways, in case you didn't know who this is Cobalion. He is one of the legendary trio of this generation. Well, one of the two trios, I guess you could put it. And yeah, I did want to create save states here because I really didn't want to kill this thing by accident or have it just wreck me while I'm trying to catch it. So, yeah. So the strategy for this Cobalion was Whimsicott. Resists the fighting and the steel basically, or just takes it like a champ. There's also a bold nature Whimsicott, so taking physical attacks is really good. If for any reason the quick ball didn't work, then I would be able to use Stun Spore and then wear it down slowly with Giga Drain because it does resist the Giga Drain, I think, with the steel typing. I don't remember if fighting actually resists or not. If it did, I guess then it'll say, but didn't really matter. I think we went for Helping Hand today too, because priority moves. But yeah. So basically, that was just my strategy for this, was just wearing it down with you know, Giga Drain. I had tested it off screen, and he ended up actually killing my Whimsicott when I was testing, so I kind of expected it to die here. He was doing massive damage too. I'm not sure about this thing's attack IVs either, but Cobalion is one of my favorite Pokemon too. I don't really know why. It's maybe because he just has this badass aura about him. Is the way to put that. And it's kind of an ironic way to put it, considering his type and the fact that it's the same as Lucario's, who can obviously see aura. But yeah, Cobalion is the leader of the trio. You already know this. And the other three that are part of the, you know, actual Musketeers, as they are quote unquote called, they are Cobalion. Okay, the other three outside of Cobalion are Terrakion, Virizion, and Keldeo. And the Mora of Isserus is where you should take Keldeo along with all three of the other, like the actual, like, three main Musketeers, to get Secret Sword instead of Sacred Sword. So, I mean, that's kind of a thing. Cobalion is the key to unlocking the ability to catch Virizion and Terrakion. We can't get Terrakion yet because Terrakion's towards the end part of the main game, so to speak. He is found in Victory Road, which we'll be obviously doing at some point. And Virizion is in the forest that we went through. I can't remember the actual name of the forest off the top of my head. Pinwheel Forest, there you go. So, yeah. You can find Virizion in the Pinwheel Forest, which we can actually go and do. Or you can just wait until the Victory Road to get Terrakion, whichever one you really want to do. In 5th gen, Terrakion was such a freaking beast. I mean, Terrakion was just so amazing. I used to use it on almost all of my teams, being just overall powerful, and it's just its ability to do the things that it could do was just unbelievable. It was kind of up there with Keldeo. Keldeo had decent enough coverage. On top of that, like the ones that competitively, if we're talking, you know, like Ekman or Smogon, you know, shit, they usually ran things like Hidden Power Ghost or even Hidden Power Dark just to get around the Ghost types or the Psychic types that threatened it. Electric, I think, was there as well for the opposing Keldeos, as well as other water types that, you know, were there to try and, you know, wall it, I guess, and scare it out, because it obviously wouldn't be able to do too much to opposing water types, and things like that. There was also Hidden Power Grass. There's a lot of, like, really good hidden powers that Keldeo had. So this was actually cool too. I ended up getting a Jolly Nature. Not sure about the actual attack IVs on this thing, but the fact that it was doing as much damage as it was, I kind of feel like it was, you know, pretty good. But I mean, it's whatever. I kind of want to replace Scraggy with Cobalion just because it's such a cool Pokemon, but at the same time, it's just not worth it. Having 2 Steel types on my team kind of disrupts a huge part of the planning that I did for the Elite Four, as well as like all the other gyms and shit. So, I mean, it's kind of something I don't really want to do. But yeah. So I did mention we were going to pick up some more TMs, and this is one of the places to do so. Back in New Town, if you go and see the professor, you can show her the Pokédex, and she will give you things. For seeing a certain amount of Pokemon, you can receive TMs. If you've caught a certain amount of Pokemon, aka like everything in the Unova Dex, you get, if I remember correctly, the Round Charm or something like that, or the Oval Charm or something like that. It's the one for, or, no, that's I'm thinking of Black and White too. But yeah, kind of spoiler alert, I guess. But yeah, if you just show her your Pokédex and you have a certain amount of Pokemon that you've seen, you get TMs from her. I think Protect's the only really good one that you get though. And I don't think that there's anything else that we really need from her as of, or, you know, in relation to TMs. So yeah. Anyways, heading out west from Route 1, or whatever the number is, I don't really remember. But yeah, heading west from here, we can head towards what's known as the P2 Laboratory. On the way here, we can find Toxic, and we can also get Thunderbolt, which is really cool. The P2 Laboratory is a place in Black and White and Black and White 2 where you can take the legendary event Pokemon Genesect, and you can receive 2 of 4 drives, depending on your version. I'm not sure which version gives which, but I do know that there's the Dows, I don't remember what I think it was like the Frost or something like that, and there's a Fire one and an Electric one. I used to use the Water one, especially back in Generation 5 because of the Permanent Rain. Permanent Rain meant a drop in the fire power, by that I mean actual fire power. And that allowed it to kind of live that 4 times weakness depending on how you ran it. And if you were up against an actual fire type, you could just return with a Techno Blast that was a water type and just either kill it or do a massive amount of damage before getting the hell out of there. And usually Genesect was run pretty fast as well, so it kind of was a good thing to have. But only for the rain teams. Outside of the rain team, you have to have a Choice Scarf to outspeed other Genesect as well as, you know, things like that. But yeah, I mean, like you have Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, I think it gets Ice Beam too, and Techno Blast got a boost in Generation 6 for some fucking reason. It has, I think, 120 or 140 base power now. I don't understand why that's a thing. Why did that move get a boost when the Pokemon itself was already broken enough to not only be banned from all actual official competitive play, but Smogon shit as well, unless you wanted to count Ubers, in which case, yeah, it was legal for Ubers, but I mean, that's Ubers. Who plays Ubers, really? I mean, a lot of people complain and bitch and moan about any kind of Uber whenever they have to deal with it, usually. The more notable ones being Xerneas, Arceus, Genesect, Blaziken to an extent, even though it's not a legendary, but lots of things that people just complain about whenever it comes to Ubers. But yeah, Genesect can get his stuff here in the P2 laboratory, whereas I already said, if you take Keldeo with the other 3 Musketeers to the Morobistris, you can get Secret Sword on Keldeo, which also, if I remember correctly, transforms him into Resolute form. Resolute form's actually a lot cooler than the regular Keldeo, but I think a lot of people actually prefer playing the regular Keldeo as opposed to the Resolute, even though I don't think there's really much of a difference, other than the fact that it had a specific move, I guess. But, I mean, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, in the next episode, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuing on our way to the P2 laboratory, and hopefully we can, you know, make some more progress on the story as of the next episode, assuming that, you know, we can, you know, get this done as fast as possible. There are a lot of trainers out here as well, so that'll be a thing. So if you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer signing out.